Ben Brown, Evolution Martial Arts in Sparks, Nevada, with my buddy Nathan. Been trained together for years. We're talking about back takes, and today it's back takes versus turtle. So you're gonna be in turtle. There's two kinds of turtle. Turn this way for me. Yeah, this way. Like, you're going this way, yeah, perfect. And then a little bit like this. Yeah, perfect. Nathan's doing good turtle, what I call good turtle, passive turtle, forehead in the mat. He's got his arms jammed into his hips, so I can't get this inside space. He's got a wide base, so he's not easily tipped, and his toes are in the mat so that he can move. This is hard to deal with. What I'm gonna look to do here, I mean, if I can't easily get in this inside space, is I wanna tip him onto his side. And rather than push him away from me, I wanna bring him toward me, because this is a back take. I'm looking to take his back. So I can't get a seat belt, right? Because he's not giving me any space. Here's what I want to do. I want to connect my chest to his back. I'm taking away his ability to extend his base. So I'm kind of taking that away here. And I'm going to monitor this hand. Because if I'm just over here and I start to tip Nathan, you're going to base out with this hand. Yeah, that's what he's going to do. If he needed to, he could base out with his knee or even his foot, right? And now I have no chance of pulling him toward me. So I got to take those away. To me, come this way a little for me, Jordan. There's kind of three places that I'm gonna look to tip him. Either by his shoulder, so pulling him this way, by the hip, just pulling him right onto his side, or I can get his ankle. And again, I have to monitor this arm so that he can't just base out. It's gonna be difficult, because this is not easy to do. People are gonna fight you pretty hard to not get tipped over. And again, I don't wanna disconnect where I'm doing this pull thing. I'll never get him over that way. I gotta be here, you know, where I'm pretty tight, and I'm either probably gonna try to take him like this direction, where his hip's gonna come down this way. So I'm here, pulling him over. I'm gonna have a short window of time probably, where he might get a little lazy right here, and I can get my arm in. I know from experience that Nathan's not going to give me that. He'll fall on his side and protect this. But most people, as they're falling on their side, that's the time to get this. I get my seat belt, and let's turn this way. So from here, it's the same back take that we do anytime they're on their side, and I can get a seat belt. I put my shin against his back. I get a tight seat belt. A lot of times I gable grip here. The thought is I'm gonna fall back and I'm gonna bring him with me, and not necessarily back. I actually wanna kind of sit him up. So I've got chest to back here, and then as we go to the other side, I get my hook in, right? So let's go back. It's not easy to tip somebody over when they have a good base like this, right? So I'm kind of here, I'm messing with him. For whatever reason, it feels good to grab his ankle, come this way. Feels good to get this ankle. Everybody's gonna be different. So, and you can feel, Nathan, I'm blocking this knee so that he can't fix that. And as we come over, that's when I notice I'm not disconnecting myself here. Staying here, seatbelt, slide under. We kind of sit up and over, and I'm already into my back take. And now we're gonna have our hand fight. So that's the theory against a good turtle and a good base. The next one is what you'll find, I think, more commonly, which is a person who's in what they think is turtle, but it's not good. They're not closing this off, and they don't have a great base. I'll do this one. So, okay, so something like this. Now, my hip, I just had hip replacement 7 weeks ago, so I can't sit back that well, but something like this. This sucks. This is not good in any way, because I'm giving Nathan all this space, right? Seat belts, he's going double unders, whatever he wants to do. So what he's gonna try to do from there, same thing, you can pull me onto my side towards you. But the natural reaction to that, you go seatbelt and start pulling me, I start going this way. Like essentially it's a hip escape, and I'm gonna put my hip down here and kind of fall to guard that way. It's really common. Sometimes what people do, go ahead and seatbelt, is they'll trap this arm and then roll you over, right? If you're not careful, that happens. What Nathan has to do if he feels me starting to go that way is he has to kind of dive over the top of me, and he has to get his knee, this knee, under my hip before my hip gets to the ground. You have to fully commit. The other thing is, as you're rolling, you need to get chest to back connection so that the momentum doesn't peel you off of me. So like your connection tight to my chest to back, and then you're gonna get that knee under, and we're gonna continue to roll with that momentum. So I'm here, he gets his seatbelt, and I start to go. He's gonna dive over, and we end up like this. This is a really common way that finishes. When he gets under me, this is kind of a little detail, he closes this off by putting his shin across my hip. If he doesn't do that, and we roll over this way, I'm like really close to getting my hip out right away. So, and Nathan knows, you know that's what you have to do. You gotta close that off, or I'm gonna use the momentum to start escaping anyway. Let's do it one more time. I'm here, he feels me start to go. He jumps over, and you see this? This is crucial. This, so that I can't just use the momentum and get my hips out. I got work to do. The other thing here is, even though you don't have a lot of options, I can't get my shoulders out either. I'm in a bad place right now. So it's just understanding what the other person's trying to do. To take someone's back, you have to control their shoulders and their hips. You can't control their hips if you don't have their hips in between your knees. So this is one of those situations where it's super common that the person's gonna try to roll away from you. And if you feel that happening, so this time you're gonna kind of roll away from me. So he starts to roll away. I might do something like this. Like, I don't necessarily have to dive over the top of you. But when I'm on the side of you, go ahead and go back to turtle. You know, the main thing I'm monitoring is his hips. What are his hips doing? So me, at my age, with this body pretty broken, I'm not likely to do what you just did. Like, it's kind of dynamic. It's not necessarily dangerous. It just feels like a lot, especially where I'm at now. So instead of that, you know, even without my seatbelt, I'm trying to control him. You go to sit to the other side, and I stay connected. And look what happens. This is what happens a lot of the time, is I end up with a seatbelt here. For me, for old guys, that's probably more realistic. But for guys that are mobile like you, I love it. Dive over the top, take the back. And you know, with you, I know you're gonna try to sink that choke before we ever settle. That's what you should be doing. Anyway, back take versus good turtle versus bad turtle. Either way, it's a great chance to take the back. You got anything to add?
No, that was excellent.
Right on.